This is not a review. It may end up sounding like one, probably end up being one as well. But to call it a review would be a little unfair to the watch since I've only had a little over 24 hours with it. But given the short period of time I have spent with the watch, it has left quite an impression. And at this point, the watch is no longer in my hands, and I believe it's back with the owner of the watch, Arsene Lippens, who is also the co-founder of the watch's brand. So I would like to thank him for letting me take a look at his watch. I've spoken about Arsene Lippens once before, where I had the pleasure to meet Arsene and his introduction of their line of watches that included the Visionaro, their chronograph, and the Numerico, their quartz daily. This new watch is a little more simple. It's a manual wind dress watch with no numerals, no date. It only displays the time. They're calling it the Artigiano. That is Italian for artisan, and there's a reason for that name that we'll get into later. As I was walking into that event, Arsene was showcasing some of the dial work that they've been working on. The one I had hands on was using pearlescent car paint. It changed from an emerald green to a violet, depending on where the light hits it. Now that dial is completely irrelevant to the watch we're talking about today, that I've been given the impression that Arsene Lippens is not afraid of experimenting with different style of dials. And it definitely shows with the Artigiano's dial. The dial is made out of textile fabric. Yes, what you see on this watch is actual fabric. You probably heard of linen dials, specifically on vintage Rolexes, but those tend to be stamped textures on the dial. The one here is an actual piece of fabric that has been tied down to the dial, which gives it this really interesting texture, but also in the same time, each dial is very unique to the other. Now there are three options of dials: Como, Portofino, and the one that I've taken a look at, Chianti. I've shown this watch to a few friends, and they thought apart from the dial, the watch looks a little too plain. I can kind of understand that reaction, but there's definitely way more going on in this watch. Despite taking the simple two-hand time-only route, there are a lot of little details in the Artigiano. Besides the elaborate dial, the Arsene Lippens logo is printed on the crystal rather than on the dial. I think it's pretty smart that they went for Dauphine hands for this particular watch. These hands are finished beautifully and contrast very well to the dial that makes this watch, despite not having any indices or minute markers, very legible to read. Unlike all the other Arsene Lippens watches, this one is using a manual wind movement, the Sellita 210B. Personally, I'm not very familiar with this movement, but it has the power reserve for 48 hours. And I really can't tell you more than that because since there's no seconds hand, I can't really tell what's the frequency of this movement, and I can't really tell you the accuracy of the watch, but it kind of really doesn't matter. Because this is a dress watch. They're not supposed to be these precise time-telling instruments. They are just an aesthetic piece. Rather than giving you precise time, these tend to give you more of an estimate. So if you're in a social outing or lounging at home, it really doesn't matter how precise the time is on this watch. But this will tell you an estimate anyway. And for that purpose, I do have a lot to say. In case you haven't noticed, I haven't spoken about the strap yet, because I was keeping it for the thought section of this video. The strap on the Artigiano is one of the most comfortable straps I have ever worn. It was a thick suede lined with calfskin, and it just hugged the wrist perfectly. As much as I lean more towards tool watches, I have been delving towards more dressier watches in my collection lately. Coincidentally, I have received this lovely Denison ALD dual time from my brother as a late birthday present. On the same day, I was handed the Artigiano. I definitely do want to talk about this watch in a different video. I wish I had more time with the Artigiano a little later in the year. More towards November or December. The little photo shoot that I did, which you can see on Instagram and TikTok, has me wearing the watch with a red hoodie. What's in offer right now is honestly quite a deal. The watch is about 4,658 UAE dirhams. That's just about 1,200 US dollars. A larger brand would have offered something similar easily for double the price, but without this extravagant dial. I think in the previous video I did on Arsene Lippens, I said that they have something special in their hands. And with the Artigiano, it seems like they're pretty consistent about that part. I will still wait a little longer to see what else they have in offer before I do take a plunge in their catalog, because I do like what I see here, but at the same time, I do want to see more from them. Thank you for watching. I know this is a very different video and my schedule has been all over the place. There have been a lot of changes in my life, especially since I got married. I'm currently working a new job and everything, so I'm kind of readjusting a little bit in order to find some footing. So please be patient with me. Are you getting the Artigiano? If so, which color? What do you think of this piece? please leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if it's not too much to ask, please do like this video and follow the channel. I will see you in the next one.